They will try to break you, not with war, but with whispers, delays, distractions, and small betrayals disguised as kindness. They won't strike you directly. They'll pull you apart slowly, through disappointment, fake love, and silence when you needed support most. And here's the truth. You'll let them, until you decide that the version of you they could touch no longer exists. To become unbreakable, you must die to the idea that someone will come rescue you. No one's coming. The world respects power, not pain. Results, not excuses. You don't become unbreakable by shouting back. You become unbreakable by smiling while you bleed, walking while you're exhausted, and standing calm in storms that destroy others. Machiavelli didn't believe in mercy. He believed in results. He knew, the more silent, cold, and unreadable you are, the less people can control you. That's power. That's how you become untouchable. And when they realize they can't reach you anymore, that you've turned pain into precision, they'll regret ever thinking you were soft. This isn't about motivation. It's about evolution. You don't survive. You outlast. You want to be unbreakable? Then understand this. No one is born that way. You're born soft, needy, hopeful, and the world doesn't care. That hopeful version of you, that innocent one, that version dies first. You don't need more motivation. You need a funeral. A funeral for the version of you that reacts, that waits, that pleads, that forgives too quickly. Because no matter how strong your body gets, you'll never be unbreakable until you kill what makes you fragile. Your attachment to weakness, emotion, and validation. The first enemy isn't outside you. It's the voice in your mind that says, take it easy. It's okay to rest. You've been through a lot. Kill that voice. Machiavelli understood something most men never do. You must separate your emotions from your execution. To rule, to rise, to conquer. You must operate even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. That's the test. Everyone wants to be strong, until it costs them who they are. But here's the secret. To be unbreakable, you must become someone new. The old you, the soft version, is addicted to validation. It wants to be liked. It wants to be accepted. It wants rest. But here's the truth. You cannot be liked and feared at the same time. And only fear commands respect when everything else falls apart. So what must you do? You must silence the urge to explain yourself. You must kill the instinct to be understood. You must erase the need to be saved. No one will save you. Not your friends, not your family, not life. They might care. They might even love you. But love doesn't protect you from chaos. Only discipline, detachment, and focus do that. And they're built, alone, quietly, ruthlessly. If you want to be unbreakable, you must become boring to the weak, but terrifying to the unaware. You don't chase drama. You outgrow it. You don't respond to disrespect. You eliminate it. You don't prove anything. You simply endure and then return stronger, colder, sharper. That's what breaks them. They expect your collapse. You give them silence. They want your reaction. You give them absence. They beg for your weakness. You deliver nothing. Every day, you wake up and kill the version of you that hesitates. Because hesitation is weakness. Emotion is leverage. Kindness, when not used strategically, is currency for the poor. You must become calculated. Every step you take, intentional. Every word you speak, rare. Every move you make, quiet. They shouldn't even know what phase you're in. You're not in recovery. You're in transformation. And they don't get a front row seat to that. Let them mock you while you suffer. Let them speak while you train. Let them laugh while you disappear. Because when you return, they won't recognize you. That's the goal. to be forgotten while building and feared when finished. To become unbreakable is not a mindset. It's a war. A war against your old identity. A war against comfort. A war against the world's demand that you remain small, soft, and safe. You don't get to keep your old self and level up. That version has to burn. Be ruthless. Be silent. Be gone. Until the world asks, "Where did he go?" and then trembles when they see what you became. The most powerful moves happen when no one's watching. You want to be unbreakable? Then stop broadcasting your battles. Stop sharing your progress. Stop needing to be seen while you evolve. Because the strongest transformation is the one they never get to witness. Machiavelli understood the value of obscurity. He knew that true power doesn't grow in the spotlight. It grows in the shadows, in silence, under pressure no one else can feel. While they scroll, you train. While they speak, you study. While they rest, you suffer with purpose. And they laugh because they don't see results yet. Let them. You're not building for claps. You're building for control. There's power in vanishing. When you remove your presence from their lives, from their expectations, you rob them of access. You rob them of updates. You rob them of their ability to measure your success. And that drives people insane. They can't control what they can't see. They can't mock what they can't measure. They can't sabotage what they can't track. Your silence becomes your shield. Your absence becomes your advantage. Because while they think nothing's happening, everything is. This is where most people fail. They want recognition before they deserve it. They want support before they've earned it. They want applause during the process, not at the end. But applause makes you soft. Recognition makes you relax. And support, if you depend on it, becomes your leash. Cut the leash. Move in complete obscurity. Do not post. Do not explain. Do not announce. Build in such silence that your return feels like an attack. Let them forget you. Let them assume you failed. Let them mock you behind closed doors. Because when you come back, they won't even recognize what you've become. That's the goal. You're not supposed to be understood while you're building. You're not supposed to be celebrated mid-transformation. You're supposed to be invisible. Because invisibility is power. They can't prepare for what they don't see. They can't defend against what they don't expect. And when you emerge, not broken, but upgraded, you don't need to say a word. Your results speak louder than your explanations ever could. Let your silence build curiosity. Let your distance generate respect. Let your discipline create fear. Because only the loud beg for attention. The dangerous ones don't ask. They appear, sharp, calm, unshakable, and everything changes. You want to be unbreakable? Then get addicted to isolation. Not because you hate the world, but because you're busy rebuilding yourself in ways the world wouldn't understand. Let them think you disappeared. Let them think you gave up. Let them think they were right. That's the trap. Because while they're busy judging you, you're becoming the version of yourself they'll regret ever underestimating. One day you will return, not with an announcement, not with a smile, not with a thank you, but with results so undeniable, they'll be forced to respect the version of you they never bothered to support. That's the revenge. Not words, not anger, not proof, just presence, calm, focused, untouchable. And when they ask where you've been, you just look at them once and walk away. Because you were never gone. You were just building in silence. There is no such thing as strength without control. You can be smart, you can be driven, you can be talented. But if you can't control your emotions, you are fragile. You're easily manipulated, easily provoked, easily broken. That makes you prey. In Machiavellian terms, emotion is a weapon, but only when used strategically. Uncontrolled emotion. That's a leash, a trigger they pull to make you dance. You want to be unbreakable? Then you must master one thing above all else: emotional silence. Not just outside, but within. Your mind must become a battlefield with no noise, no panic, no emotional chaos. Because when you're calm, you control the pace. When you're still, you control the room. When you don't react, they exhaust themselves trying to reach you, and you win without lifting a hand. Most people live like exposed wires, short-fused, unstable, and easy to set off. They snap at insults. They crumble under pressure. They drown in rejection. And they wonder why they keep losing. Control isn't about being numb. It's about knowing when to feel and how to hide it. You don't show your anger. You bury it and convert it into precision. You don't show your sadness. You weaponize it into clarity. You don't show excitement. You study the moment and stay composed. You never let them know what moves you. Machiavelli said, "A wise man should appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, and religious, but must be ready to act otherwise when necessary." In other words, wear the mask, play the part, but don't be owned by emotion. You're not a slave to your feelings, you're a commander of them. And once you understand this, people can no longer control you with approval, rejection, flattery, or shame. That's true freedom. Look around. How many people are prisoners to their moods? One comment ruins their day. One mistake shatters their confidence. One loss derails their progress. They think their emotions are valid. But validation doesn't equal power. Power is the ability to keep moving forward regardless of how you feel. You think kings cry in public? You think leaders explain their every frustration? You think wolves share their hunger with sheep? Number. Because the moment you expose your emotions, you give people leverage. You give them the ability to shape your choices. You give them the power to manipulate your path. You give them control and lose your own. Control starts with this: observe more, react less. When someone insults you, observe. When someone lies to you, observe. When someone tries to provoke you, observe. Don't react. Don't explode. Don't explain. Your silence is their confusion. Your stillness is their panic. Because nothing makes people more afraid than someone who refuses to be emotionally moved. They throw fire, and you remain cold. They beg for a reaction, and you remain still. They scream to trigger you, and you don't even blink. That's power. And it's not just about handling people. It's about facing life. When tragedy strikes, you stay clear. When failure hits, you stay sharp. When success comes, you stay grounded. Because nothing outside you can shake what's controlled inside you. This doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you've disciplined your feelings. You've broken the chains of emotional impulse and built a system instead. You don't scream. You plan. You don't cry out loud. You move in silence. You don't prove your worth. You execute relentlessly. And when people try to study you, they get nothing. No outbursts, no weakness, no chaos. You become unreadable. And unreadable is unbreakable. This is how the strongest minds in history moved. They were never loud. They were never dramatic. They were cold, calculated, and detached. Not because they were evil, but because they were in control. Emotional control doesn't make you a monster. It makes you untouchable. So stop reacting. Start responding with silence. Let your composure become their confusion. Let your patience become their punishment. Let your discipline make you dangerous. Because when nothing moves you, when your emotions no longer dictate your decisions, you become something most people will never understand. If you want to be unbreakable, you must face a brutal truth. Loyalty is temporary. Most people are not loyal to you. They're loyal to their need of you. The moment their need changes, so does their loyalty. The sooner you accept this, the more unstoppable you become. Because no matter how pure your intentions are, people will leave. No matter how much you give, people will betray. No matter how kind you are, people will forget. So stop expecting loyalty. Expect nothing. Machiavelli didn't believe in the illusion of eternal allies. He said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." People switch sides. They always have. The mistake isn't in trusting them. The mistake is in depending on them. You want to be unbreakable? Then stop leaning on anyone. You must become your own structure, your own savior, your own army. Because the world doesn't punish the weak. It forgets them. People will clap when you win. But they'll also smile when you fall. Not out of hatred, but out of quiet envy. Because deep down, they know they wouldn't have survived what you did. And that makes them uncomfortable. So they ghost you when you struggle. They doubt you when you dream. They vanish when you need them most. Good. Let them. It's better to walk alone than to carry dead weight. Let your isolation refine you. Unbreakable men are not created in crowds. They're forged in the silence of abandonment. There's a moment, and you'll feel it, when everything around you fades. The people, the support, the distractions, and you're left with one thing, your will. That's the real turning point. When you stop looking outward and you turn inward. When you stop begging for backup and build yourself into someone who never needs to be saved again. Because here's the truth. The less people you depend on, the stronger you become. Independence is your insurance against betrayal. Don't be shocked when people leave. Don't be broken when people change. Expect it. Anticipate it. Be ready for it. Because when you no longer expect loyalty, you're free. Free from disappointment. Free from weakness. Free from waiting on anyone else to carry you across the fire. And it's not about hate. You don't need to hate them. You simply outgrow the illusion that anyone will love you more than they love themselves. Most won't sacrifice for you. Most won't stay when it's inconvenient. Most won't bleed with you when you're down. And that's not a tragedy. It's a blessing. Because now you know, the only loyalty you need is to your mission, the goal, the vision, the war you were born to win. And you don't win wars by hoping your soldiers don't defect. You win by being strong enough to finish the battle, even if you're the only one left standing. Let people leave. Let them lie. Let them shift, fade, betray. You will remain, because you are not here to be surrounded. You are here to be solid. So train yourself to operate alone, to work when no one claps, to move without permission, to rise without help. This is where real power lives, in the shadows of betrayal, in the silence of self-discipline, in the cold reality that no one owes you anything. And you don't need them to, because when they're all gone, and they will be, you will still be standing, sharper, harder, colder, unbreakable. If you want to be unbreakable, you must face one final law. You have to be willing to walk alone, forever, not for a season, not until people support you, not until someone understands, forever. Because the most dangerous man is not the one who's loved by many. It's the one who needs no one. Machiavelli understood the loneliness of true power. He knew that those who rise far above others must first detach from them, not out of hatred, not out of pride, but out of necessity. To walk alone is not a punishment. It's a purification. It strips away the noise. It eliminates the weak. It reveals who you really are when no one is clapping, no one is calling, and no one is watching. Most people crumble in isolation. They lose motivation without attention. They stop grinding when no one notices, but not you. You become colder, sharper, more dangerous. While they fear loneliness, you turn it into a weapon. Because when you walk alone long enough, something shifts. Your self-worth becomes internal. You stop looking for permission. You stop explaining your vision. You stop chasing validation. You just build, silently, relentlessly, without interruption. Most people will never understand that kind of power. They think strength is loud. They think leadership is social. They think respect comes from connection. But unbreakable men know respect comes from distance. From the aura that says, I don't need you. I don't need approval. I don't even need to explain. That's why they fear you. Because they can't guilt you. They can't control you. They can't manipulate someone who doesn't crave their presence. People attach to the ones they think they can shape. But when you're truly alone, by choice, you become a mystery. And mystery is power. When they don't know where you are, what you feel, or who you trust, they walk carefully. You become unpredictable. You become untouchable. But here's the dark truth most aren't ready for. This path will cost you. It will cost you relationships. It will cost you fake friends. It will cost you comfort, warmth, and temporary peace. But what you gain is worth everything. You gain clarity. You gain focus. You gain power no one can take from you. You'll realize that walking alone doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're following a path no one else has the strength to walk. Let them call you cold. Let them say you've changed. Let them whisper that you're distant. They don't understand. You didn't leave them. You outgrew the need to be understood by the average. The ones who stay soft need group approval. The ones who break need company. But the one who becomes unbreakable, he moves alone. Not because he has no one, but because he chose solitude over weakness. Even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if no one follows. Because the man who walks alone builds something the world fears. A mind that no one can access. A focus that no one can shake. A strength that no one gave him. And no one can take away. So keep walking. Walk when they doubt you. Walk when they mock you. Walk when they forget you. Walk when it hurts. Walk when you're tired. Walk when there's nothing left but your vision and your breath. Because one day, the same people who watched you disappear will ask how you did it. And you won't answer. You'll just keep walking. Unbreakable. Untouchable. Alone. And completely in control. If this hit you somewhere real, if you're done begging, explaining, and waiting, if you're ready to disappear and come back more powerful than ever, then do one thing right now. Like the video, subscribe, and more importantly, vanish. Go build, go suffer in silence. And when you return, return unrecognizable. Your future doesn't belong to the loud. It belongs to the ones who never stopped walking.